Welcome to the STA Podcast with your host, Daryl Speedy Smith.
Getting ready for these tryouts.
Okay. What age group you gonna have?
High school boys and girls. So eighth grade and up.
Okay. You looking for a big turnout?
It should be pretty good. It should be pretty good. Girls has grown a lot for sure. We had three girls team last year. We'll at least double that this year. And then boys will stay about eight to eight to nine, 8 to 10, somewhere in that range.
Oh, okay.
Probably, yeah. Boys been about 8 teams the last couple of years.
Sound like you're gonna have a lot going on there.
Oh yeah, we
How
working.
many?
It's all
How many? How many of those you actually gonna coach?
two. I had
Two.
a coach, yeah, because last year I broke off to start the girls to get that moving. So I had to coach my old girls team that I had last year, and then we added on a freshman team that's gonna be really good. So I'm gonna take them as well.
Okay. Cool.
And then I'm just director over the boys right now. So kind of going back to make sure everything's working how it should with the boys and the girls this year. So
Okay.
it's a lot. It's a lot, but good problems.
Not bad. Not bad at all, man. As a matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
I came director over Team Nation North. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing that since November, man, and we're trying to grow some things on this end. Trying
Okay.
to get the girls ready for the Adidas circuit. So
Yep.
it's it's been something. It's different. It's been a challenge,
Yeah.
but it's been worth it though.
How many teams y'all supposed to have? I don't even remember.
Oh man, like right now, it's probably easily about 10, 12 teams. But on
Okay.
my side, I have a 14U. Then we're
Okay.
about to have 15, 16, and a 17U. And we actually got trials coming up pretty soon to try to rebuild a little bit on that end.
Gotcha.
But Team Nation is in itself, man. They've been around uh, easily over 10 years. So all over the
Mm-hmm.
DFW, they got Fort Worth now, East Texas, and he actually even got a branch like out in Arizona.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's good
So
though. That's real good.
it's growing, man. It's definitely growing. I'm glad I was able to become a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, man, if you
But
don't mind, I wanted to bring you on and talk to you a little bit about some of the things you've done, how we met, and from there, and kind of ask you a few questions on what it did for you.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Whatever you need, man.
Okay, well, cool, man. So, definitely appreciate you coming in. Guess we want to start out with just letting everyone know who you are and how you got into the sport.
Into the sport,
Yes,
just in general,
just in
man.
general.
So, if you don't know, I'm Devin Rowland. I'm from Frisco, so I'm from the area. And honestly, I don't know how I got into the sport. It's just been my whole life. It's been since I was a baby. So I've been hooping probably 4 years old.
Okay.
4 years old, fell in love with it, and just never wanted to do anything else. So easy to get into it. Played all throughout high school. Played 3 years of college. Got 5 concussions. So I'm not playing pro or doing anything else. But now we're just training and coaching full time. So once I started with the sport, I ain't left it.
Been after it ever since, huh?
Hmm.
Well, I kind of remember the days when you were actually playing with me on our team, your JV years, and
Hmm.
it was a kind of rough start then, but I saw the transition from you going from JV up to high school and then even playing college ball. I saw the growth there, and that's part of the things that, man, I want to give back to these young men and let them realize, like people that's been through it and what it actually takes to get to that point. A lot of
Right.
these a lot of these guys feel like, man, they know the game, they can hoop, they can do this, they can do that, but it's a little more than what they think, and the
Right.
time and all that. So I kind of wanted to bring you on and let you elaborate a little bit on that and just
Oh
give a
yeah.
general idea of how that
Oh
works.
yeah. I
So you
mean,
see,
honestly, I'm about to say you seen my story from the background, but I got incredibly lucky to make it to the parts and the ranks where I made it. Only because it took me so long to get to just physically where I could actually play at that level. Because I grew my senior year up until I grew 3 inches in college. So it took me forever to
Okay.
even hit the height, athleticism, all the requirements, all the benchmarks I needed to hit to even look like a college player. And then skill set, I was just late to everything. So I got lucky in the sense that the only reason I made it to Austin College, the first school I went to, is my best friend was an All American as a freshman. He was able to go to the coach and like, yo, I got another version of me. He just is a little bit taller and shoots better. So I got lucky that one, my best friend was as good as he was, and two, the coach took me on with no film, no history, no knowledge of who I was, nothing. He took
Right.
me on just off word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Uh, yeah, at the time I wasn't tripping about it, but looking back on it, coach definitely had to take a leap he didn't have to take just to bring in a kid he didn't need to bring in. So from my perspective, even and again, that was at a Division 3, and then I moved up during COVID. Could have been had my plan was to go to UNC Charlotte, but COVID took away a lot of people's money, so I ended up going to Colorado Springs. But with all that being said, I had to get lucky to get to my journey. If I did it the normal way and took the normal steps in high school, I know I didn't work as much as I could have, or it just
Right.
wasn't. I wasn't working with the mindset of being a college player. I was working to have fun and play basketball. Um, but all the stuff I missed out on, the stuff that I should have been doing, getting my feet right, getting my mobility right, getting my strength right, just being in the gym with a focus rather than just getting shots up, playing around, doing that stuff. I would have been much better. I mean, like I said, it's kind of funny because I'm in the same height, athleticism, size, and skill set of a bunch of guys that I grew up with that's overseas pro, G League. They're doing great stuff. And there's nothing separating us. They just worked earlier and it worked a lot different.
It worked different.
Um, exactly. They work different, but that's been their life, their whole life. Like we made fun of them in high school. One of my best friends growing up, he plays for the Nuggets G League team right now.
Okay.
He walked around high school with ankle weights on, doing calf raises anytime he could. And of course, we made fun of him at the time for it because it's like, who does that?
Yeah.
But
Right. Right.
again, everything was with a purpose. As goofy as it was, and as much as we wanted to make fun of him for it, it was intentional. He was doing everything with a purpose. So nah, I think it seems easy because it looks easy on TV, or there's a little bit of illusion in everybody. But I think the worst part now being on the other side and the coaching aspect of it, there's always, especially nowadays, there's always someone lying to some kid, not telling
Right.
the full truth and just saying, hey, you are a superstar. You're going to be a college player when the kid might have the skill set and the ability to, but are you just pumping them full of lies and pumping and making their head big and making it seem like they're already there? Why
Exactly.
would I work? And why would I go to this environment and this coach who's going to be real with me when this dude
Right.
over here is just going to say, hey, I'm already there. All you got to do is this, and all of a sudden you're a Power 5 player. When we both know it takes a little bit more than that. So
Yes, indeed.
I think it's harder even nowadays than it is when I was growing up, just because it's very easy to get into that stuff. That's why as a coach, I don't like reaching out to kids, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
I have to do it a couple times every now and then, but in general, I don't like even reaching out and doing that stuff just because I feel like I'm part of that problem. But I can't let myself lie to kids and make them pump their head up just for the sake of pumping their head up.
And see, that's the problem I have with some of these coaches, man. They put them on that pedestal, and reality is, we know they don't belong there, but they're just looking at right now the wins and losses that they create.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
coaches don't realize, man, it's not all about. I mean, even the following season, everyone's not going to remember your record. They're not going to remember any of the accomplishments you made. Like, but the question is, what did you do to help that kid out? How
right,
much closer is he ready to play college basketball?
mhm,
And too many guys walk around with that ego of, yeah, we won this, we won that. But I'm like, you might have won that, but none of your kids are college ready.
right,
So success wise, what did you really accomplish?
right.
And,
I'm about to say
and
you got your resume look good, but that's not what this is for.
right, right. I mean, you can't live through the kids now, and what you accomplish
Mm-mm,
like means nothing if none of your kids are able to go to the next phase of the next level.
Hmm.
And what are you doing to help get them there? So I'm
Right.
not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything and tell you what you want to hear when in reality you're not going to be ready. And then you want to come back and blame. Well, you are to blame. But it starts with
Exactly.
me by not giving you that false hope. Like I'm gonna be honest with you and say, hey, you're not doing what it takes right now.
Exactly.
So like I say, I'm working with a 14U right now, and that's exactly how I talk to them. Hey, you might be the man at your school, but when you go against this competition where the whole 9, 10 guys on the roster play the same, now what? You
Right.
you look you look average.
That was my favorite thing when I was playing D3. Is most people like, oh yeah, so and so ready for college, so and so's ready for this. I was like, you understand? You go to D3, which is the worst basketball in college. That means you got to walk onto the court and then you got to guard me. I'm like, if you can't guard me, you're not going to be on the court at a D3, and
Right,
that's the lowest level. So what happens at D2, D1 when everyone's like me, and I'm the third or fourth man on that team? I'm not even that dude. I'm like, yeah, I gotta
right,
understand. I'm not. I I shouldn't have played D3, but every team got a guy that shouldn't have played D3. Every D2 got a
true,
guy that shouldn't be playing D2. Every D1 got a guy that should be in the league. So it's like at every level, you got to be able to guard just what it is. It's all grown men playing basketball. So it's
exactly,
like that's what I missed about training whenever I was still in school. Because I could say that, and it was true. I didn't come across as being mean or rude. At this point, I'm just being mean if I tell the truth. But at that time, I
right,
could be, hey, bro, check up. Let's see if you're really a college player.
yeah.
But
Well,
can't do that no more. Now I'm
and
just mean.
well, see, it's crazy because man, when we got a chance to, bring the family to come see you play at Austin College, and for me, it was a joy, man, just to see that you've made it to the next phase. And
Hmm.
reality is, so many guys thought they were much better than what they were, and none of them got that opportunity, or none of them went to that level. So to be
Right.
able to come out, see what you were doing, and the things that you had accomplished, I'm like, man, this is why I'm in the business of what I do.
Hmm.
But with you playing at that level, if you don't mind, I would like for you to kind of elaborate and explain from the high school level to that level on at Austin College, the difference of what it takes to be on that level.
I think, well, it was weird because I think my general college experience was great because I got to play D3 and I also got to play basically what was a high major D2, which
Hmm.
essentially we got treated and moved like D1s. We beat most D1s, but it was a D2 school. But the D3, the biggest challenge was you kind of had to, like, you were kind of self motivated. There was nothing tying you down to that team. And you go to college, you get your college experience, especially the freshman. You
Okay,
come in, you start living a college life, but you're on no scholarship. So you're doing all this for fun, basically. So if you don't really love the sport, just quit. There's no repercussions. Nothing's
right,
going to happen to you. You still in the school. You just now get to go live your college life. So for me, the challenge was I was there on a mission. I was there to move myself up and see how far I can take it. I mean, out of that school, I was supposed to go play in France before I got hurt, to be honest with you.
okay,
That was my original plan. So I was there to do some stuff. So I was self motivated, but I was trying to keep, especially being a leader, especially my senior year, keeping the team on that track to where we had 10 guys that's got the same mission, trying to win games, trying to win conference titles. It's hard to do when there's nothing keeping you there. Uh, Down in Colorado Springs, I mean, the challenge with that is everyone is kind of the opposite. Everyone on a full ride, everyone got a little stipend in their wallet. Like, it's probably even worse now because I wasn't even around with NIL stuff. But
right,
everyone had their
right.
own little ego. Everyone had their own agendas. So it was hard to be cohesive with that when you got all these different people trying to do different stuff with the game. And none of it had to do with winning or the team being good. I was there to move up to play pro ball. We had two other guys trying to play pro ball themselves. We had young, like underclassmen trying to prove themselves, make the starting five. So none of it was focused on the team. Even the coaches weren't really focused on the team, in my opinion. It was very individualized, which I wasn't used to. And I played so little there, I didn't adjust very well. Because only there, I think I only played 6 games before I got hurt.
Okay.
So it took me some time to adjust to it. I think I would have just fine after, like I was kind of turning that corner. But it presented different challenges at both levels. That's why I'm glad I got to see kind of everything in the college world. I got to see the super low level. I got to see a pretty high level. Obviously, I wish I got to see the highest level and played high major, but I was around the first school at San Diego State. I was around it all the time. Most of my friends were on the
Hmm.
team, so like I got to see it, but I just didn't live it. So, but I got to see basically everything, which was I think beneficial to me now. Judging kids, where should they be? Where do their personality types fit? That sort of stuff. I think it helps a ton.
Right. So let me ask you, and this may help some of these young guys get an understanding of. You said you got injured, and it was
Hmm.
more kind of like a setback for you. Um, After that injury, how was the basketball life for you? How did you adjust to that?
And actually, I think just in my career and what I'm doing now, I think it's been a blessing in disguise. In the sense of I think if because I think it's 5 concussions at this point. I don't even know, but there's no part of me to where it makes sense for me to try to really push back into shape and really push to go be a pro right now.
Right.
Um, there's no part of my body that's, of course, I want to, but I'm not going to take that risk, and I know that. So I think that part has been beneficial because if I was coaching and training and around all these people developing, but and I was still healthy and I could still just go,
Hmm.
like I think an agent who had a plug in Puerto Rico hit me up like a year and a half ago, probably. I think I would have thought about it. Even though
Okay.
I'm building all this stuff, I'm doing all this stuff. Part of me is obvious, like, dang, you didn't get to go be a pro when you probably should have. Uh, so the fact that I have the peace of mind and I'm not doing that, and I've seen guys who finished college, went to be pros, were pros for 15 years, came back at the age of, I don't know, 37, no idea what to do with their life, just
Right.
sitting around. I've grown, gotten old enough to see those guys. I was like, I don't want to be that person.
Right.
Plus, I don't feel the risks of going to play overseas make sense. So I'm chilling where I'm at. Um, I think I would have caught myself in that loop, in that cycle of making a little bit of change, go overseas, make a little bit of change, go overseas until your body breaks down. And then
Right.
you ain't got no career, you ain't got no life set up. Half of them they ain't got no family set up, so they come back and they ain't got nothing to do, which is really sad, but it's reality. At some point, you got to figure out when it makes sense to hang them
Right.
up and do whatever else you're gonna do with your life. So, but knowing me, I wouldn't been able to make that decision by myself, not easily.
Right. Well, it's funny you say that because football was first priority for me going into college, and then basketball. Could have done both, but the school I went to wouldn't allow it. But I look
Hmm.
back on times to where I got accepted to the NFL Combine, and 2 months prior to going, I was in a bad car accident.
Hmm.
And, I always wondered, what if, what if, what if? Now, I do not regret the path that I took because it ended up, I got married, I got a nice family, and all that
Hmm.
would have changed. It would have changed if all this happened before that because it didn't exist at the time. So I don't
Right.
question how I got to where I am. It's just the point of when it's time to hang it up and put those shoes up,
Hmm.
put those cleats up with a basketball, what's next for you?
Right.
And most of these athletes don't know what they have planned. They don't know what's next for them. They're lost without
Exactly.
doing it.
Right.
So it's always good, man, to come on here and talk to guys that's kind of been in that situation, that scenario, and kind of what's life like next after that.
Hmm.
Um, but one thing I would like to know, and of course for the listeners, like, what is that college life like being a basketball player? A lot of guys don't understand, like, when I was playing football, it takes away from your personal life when you're
Hmm.
playing sports. But
Oh
how
yeah,
was it for you as a basketball player?
I would say D3. Yeah, I mean it was busy. Obviously, we had a lot of stuff going on, but that's more self motivated. So that's closer to like your high school schedule. Like I said, it has its challenges because if you are a losing team and y'all suck, you ain't trying to live through that every day. But a lot of
Right,
extra work you putting in, all that stuff's on your own. You just don't understand how much you're supposed to be putting in. When I got
right,
to Colorado Springs, now it was a little bit worse because it was COVID. But our day to day, I was waking up 4:30, had to be at the gym at 5:30. Did our COVID screenings, lived at 6:15, 6:15 to 7:15, practice 7:15, about 9:30. Come home, do your classwork, go back to the gym for your optional shoot around. My group went at 12, we got done at 2. Went back, finished schoolwork. Then half the time, the whole team, no matter what, had study hall at 7.
right.
And that was an hour and a half, 7 to 8:30. Then you got to be up again at 4:30. And that's Monday through Friday. Then Saturday you still got practice or lift or something. Um, and that's your whole preseason
Right.
of being in that cycle to where, I mean, I try to tell most kids, but they don't understand when I say it's a job. I mean, it's a job. You, it's not about, and you can't have a bad day. Like, you can't sit there and have a bad attitude because you didn't feel like waking up that day. You can't
Right.
call out because you didn't feel like waking up that day. Because if you do, someone else taking your spot. There's too many talented people, too much stuff when I got hurt. I mean, I say it all the time. The reason the head coach of that school, I ain't got no problems with him, but I didn't realize how much of a job it was. I got
Hmm.
hurt, I think in November, early November. By the end of January, I had given up. It ran through the cycle because it was a concussion, so they kept trying to rush me back and then rush me back and then rush me back. So for 2.5 months, I'm struggling because I'm hurt. They try to push me back. I almost get back. I get hurt again, or the symptoms come back. So I'm in this mental battle, going to therapy, doing all sorts of stuff for 2.5 months. At the end of it, I was like, bro, I just want to see my mom. I want to see my girlfriend at the time. I was like, I want to go see my people and just be done. I'm
Yeah.
tired. So I finally dropped the courage, text coach, hey man, can I meet you in the office at some point this week? He said, of course. I walked in, tell him, man, tell him what I'm going through, tell him how hard it's been. He's like, all right, cool. And walked and left. And that was it. That was the whole conversation. He said, okay, sounds good. And dipped and then replaced me within 3 days. 3 days, they got another 6'5" light skinned dude from Texas committed for the next year. I was like, damn. But to them, you were key in the cog, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in the moment I was like offended and upset. 'Cause I was like, dang, like I felt like we supposed to have a relationship. You supposed to care about this, but he don't get paid to care. He get paid to win games.
See, that's it.
He get
That's
paid to
it.
win games. Whether or not if I'm hurt, I'm not helping him. Where, like I said, for me, I still suck emotions to it. But once you realize what it truly is, I think it gets a little bit easier once you understand that. It's just hard to understand when you in the moment.
When you're
It's
in
kind
that
of hard to
moment.
express. Yeah, it's hard to teach the kids because you and I might know what it is. I've lived
Right.
through it. You lived through it. But going into it, you're like, nah, bro. But like, coach care about me. No, he don't.
Not to that
He
extent.
care. Are you helping him win? Cool. Now he cares about you. But start missing your jump shots and see how much he care. Like,
Right.
but like I said, I in the moment I was upset, but looking back on it, I'm like, man, I get it.
It's a business.
Cause now that yeah, cause now that I'm coach, I mean AAU is a much lower business, much lower stakes. But if a kid quits or a kid gets mad and leaves, I gotta replace him. I
Yeah.
gotta replace your talent. We gotta keep doing what we doing.
Right.
I can't be all sad about this. I ain't got time for that.
Right. And see, that's
Um,
crazy. I'm so glad you brought that up, man, because that's the thing I try to tell kids when they don't understand at the college level, coaches are not going to stress out about what you're doing. You either going to do what he needs you to do, or he's
Right.
going to look for somebody to replace that. And it's not hard to find because you got hundreds of people that's waiting at his door
Right.
for you to make a mistake.
Correct.
So
Correct.
his pool is wide open on, oh, let's go
Oh
fishing
yeah.
again.
Oh yeah. And again, I mean, I try to tell most people, I was like, half these coaches, especially at Division 1 level, you making six figures, and a contract says you got to win 19 games this year,
Right,
or you're fired, or you're eligible to be fired, or we can break the contract with you, whatever it may be. You got to win this number of games.
correct.
So again, I asked most kids, I was like, hey, if I gave you 250 grand, but would you worry about people's feelings, or would you do what you need to do to make your money?
Hmm,
Especially you got 250 grand, a wife, kids, like you got people relying on you too.
right.
I'm like, you gonna make your money for your family. You're not gonna worry about this kid slightly upset at you, or you gotta break a kid's scholarship. That's not the like, nah, that's not your concern. That's not your priority.
Right.
And you put it in that framework and say, hey, I got all this money for you. What you gonna do? And then it's the vice versa with the kids. Kids, you want a full ride scholarship at a minimum, you got 200 grand to show up to work every day.
Mm-hmm.
You better show up and you better work because I'm paying you a full ride. I'm paying you all this money.
Right.
Then NIL on top of that, Lord knows how much we talking.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's one of those things. I think the more education the kids get going into it, the faster they realize it. But I mean, it took me a while to realize what it was and what I needed to do, how to handle it. So I try to give a little bit of grace because I knew I wasn't ready going into it. But
Mm,
the more prepared you can be, the quicker that kid can adjust. But
right.
it's an adjustment. It's tough.
Now let me ask you. We hadn't said much about it on this end. We kind of talked about the basketball aspect of it, but
Hmm.
great grades on those levels. What kind of grades, GPA, ACT score, SAT scores, and things like that to get you qualified to start playing at that level? What are they looking at? What do you have to
I mean, tell most people you got to get into the school first. So depending what school you going to, but you got to get into that mud first. So I mean, it honestly, and I both know it depends on the school, but you can't be walking in with no C's
Yeah,
and D's going to, I don't know, a decently smart school trying to get in. The admission
right.
office gonna look at the coach sideways. All right. I mean, so I'll put it this way though. When I talked to UNC Charlotte at first, when
Hmm.
I hit the transfer portal, I figured out very quickly what the transfer portal was. It
Okay.
is a big search engine, and that's basically all it is. So the reason all the D1s were hitting me up, and I figured that out quickly, because I was tall, my 3-point percentage, I was shooting like 47% from three, and
Okay.
my GPA was really high. I don't remember what my GPA was in college, but it was a 3.8 something. I had a good GPA. I was pretty smart all throughout school.
Okay.
So I checked all these boxes. So UNC Charlotte calls me. It was a bigger school when I was talking to. I forgot who it was, but it was a bigger school. It was Mountain West School. It wasn't P4, but it was right below it. But it was a pretty big mid major, like a Boise State type. It wasn't them, but something like that.
Hmm.
They called me. They said, "Hello, is this Devin?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, what's your GPA?" 3.8, whatever. He's like, "All right, cool. We'll reach back out in a couple days." Click. I had like three. There was one where it was that quick, but I probably had two other D1s where my first conversation with them only had to do with my GPA.
Wow.
After that, they weren't interested. They cared about the rest of it, but you weren't even. I wasn't even going to talk to them if my GPA wasn't right.
Hmm.
So I had like a grad assistant. Someone called me, and then UNC Charlotte, I had the assistant coach call me afterwards. So I got through the GPA check, and now it's at least worth talking to me. But I had multiple D1s. They not even. Your GPA wasn't right. They wasn't even going to entertain the assistant coach with who this was. So nah, it's important, bro. It's important. Luckily, I haven't had any kids that are in. that dire situations where it's impacting them too much. But I mean, I've seen it before. I had even at Austin College, I had two of my friends that was supposed to come play with us at school, and they just didn't get in.
And see, that's the thing these kids don't understand. Like, you may be talented on the court, but the pool is so different now. I can
Hmm.
easily go out and find a 3.0, 3.5 student with 20 some plus ACT or whatever the case is with the scores, and they could play just as good, if not better than you. So if you're just average in the classroom, why should I entertain you?
Exactly.
And, and I don't think most of them understand that because, again, I don't plan on losing any sleep because you're one of the ones that's average. And I got to wonder if you're going to do your job in the classroom because
Right.
we know the demand on what it takes to play college level.
Right.
That alone is crazy demand. And we're not even talking about the
Hmm.
school side of it yet.
Right. And even talk
So,
about like the business we was talking about earlier, the business aspect of it. When I was at Colorado Springs, our girls team was horrible. They were
mm,
maybe not horrible is the wrong word, but at the D3 school I was at, that D3 team was better than Colorado Springs. And it made no sense to me. I was like, y'all on scholarship. How aren't y'all way better than all these girls that weren't on scholarship at Austin? And
right.
then I realized they were all geniuses. The boosters, like that team was put together so the athletic GPA was high enough at the school for the boosters to rock with us.
Okay.
So the boys team was pretty stupid. The girls team were geniuses to balance everything out. So half the time, like we had, I guarantee you, I had two kids on my team at Colorado Springs that were there just for their grades. They got full rides. They got their school paid for because they played a little bit of basketball, but they were very, very, very smart. And it helps the GPA out, helps the boosters want to donate. Now the team makes more money. Like
Mhm.
you coming in tanking that, you better be one of them dudes. Like you better be the player at
That
that
too.
school if you're gonna
Yeah.
tank their GPA stuff. But
Right.
like again, we had a kid who tanked our GPA. His coach, our coaches were legit doing his homework in practice, not doing it, but assisting.
Assistance. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of assistants going on. I'll put it that way.
Right.
And yet somehow, because he's averaging 22 points per game, he finds his way onto the court. That boy's averaging 22 in college. If you're not doing that, you're not getting that type of treatment.
You're
That
not
ain't
getting it.
happening. Nah, that's not happening for you, bro. So,
Hmm.
nah, I mean, just living it. I've probably seen five of my friends not get into school because of that.
Hmm.
Probably about five, personally. It's, it's the dumbest way not to get to college, I can tell you that.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. It exists, and that's the thing. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's why I want to have these interviews, man. Talking back on guys that experience it and has been through that process to let people know. Like you can tell these kids all day long, this is out there, that's out there, things like this will happen, and they look at you all crazy, like you don't know what you're talking about. But
Mm-hmm.
when you talk to athletes that has been down that path and can explain to you, like, dude, you're just another number when you go to college.
Right.
And a lot of these kids look at, oh yeah, I'm being recruited by this guy, and they're telling me this and telling me that. Do you know you're only one of 100 that they're doing that to?
Right.
And if you make it to their campus and get dropped off to be ready for that level, then you go back just to another kid with a white T-shirt on that's trying to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them start getting that mindset. Well, wait, that's not how you recruited me, or that's not what you said when you told me about this and that. He said that to everyone. And
Right.
now he's only looking for three of you guys out of that
Mm-hmm.
whole group.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't understand the business that comes with it outside of just your play in general.
Right.
So just what you do on the court has to be much bigger than what you're showing. It's way bigger than that. The process is way bigger than that.
Right. And that's not even including what most people think you're supposed to be doing to get there. Most of the
Hmm.
time, coach needs someone to play defense. They're not recruiting a kid averaging 18 points on 30%
Yeah,
shooting. They don't care about
right.
none of that. They looking for the kid that's going to sit down and play defense. That's all they looking for.
Right.
I was like, that's where those be the hardest conversations to have and make people understand. It's like you're not getting recruited for that, so stop. Not that you shouldn't worry about it, develop those skills. I think you should. But if
Hmm.
this is your strong suit, I can help you get recruited doing what you do best. But if you want to act outside of what you do well and outside of your college skill sets, I'm like, it's not going to help.
It's
You
not gonna
averaging
help.
15, yeah. Because I know I had a kid last year, 2 years ago, one of the best defenders I've seen. Lock up everybody. But mom's mad because they averaging 6 points per game. Oh, if we go over there, he gonna average 20. Cool, go for it. That ain't helping
Right.
nobody. I was like, but you can show you can lock up this kid at this level,
Hmm.
look a little bit better. I was like, that's what
Hmm.
they care about. They don't worry about how many points you averaging. Old dude on the Nuggets right now who's killing it. I forgot his name, but dude on the Nuggets right now averaged 3 points per game in college. He's averaging like 18 right now since Jokic been out. But same
Big
thing.
difference.
They looking for a role. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But as part of that, of someone else gonna be back there lying to them or making them feel good about something, to where it's gonna make them want to be somewhere else where they get to feel better versus what's actually gonna help them. And I'm about to say,
Makes a
my
difference.
try. I'm about to say my trials next week, and I already know that's gonna be the most repetitive conversation of my life. I'm gonna be saying the same thing,
Hmm.
just about that sort of stuff. Like, hey, if you want to get to school, we got to do it this way. I got to coach you this way. We got to act this way. If you want
Right.
to feel better, go to the other team. They'll
Yeah.
make you feel good. But
But how far is that going to go?
yeah, is it intentional or are they just not coaching you to where you just having
Right.
fun? I was like, those are two different things. I was
Right.
like, I know based off your size, your height, your length, your athleticism, your skill set, where you should be, what you should be doing, how to make you look good, how to hide your weaknesses. I was like, I know how to do all these things so you look like the best player possible in
Hmm.
the eyes of a recruiter, not in the eyes of your mama. Like,
Right. Right.
so that if you want me to do that, let's roll. But like I said, one of them things. But the people who listen, I mean, those end up being my favorite people and they stay around forever. So that's why, to your point earlier, that's what you do it for.
That's the purpose. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's your purpose.
Those few kids who get it, who stick around,
Right.
is nice. Just not a ton of those out there.
No, it's not. And that's the thing. Like it goes back to saying how all these kids think they're much better than what they are, but no one has really sat down and broke down to them what it actually takes to be successful at that next level. And a
Hmm.
lot of these kids got the wrong mentality that, man, I can give you 20 whenever I want. But is that it? That all you bring to the table? Because the last
Right.
time I checked, you just scored that three and came down. Your defense looked horrible.
Hmm.
So, how do I balance that out? If I'm sitting in the stands with a notepad or my phone looking at you, probably in about a 45-second span of a defensive rep and offensive rep, I've already decided if you're worth even looking at.
Exactly.
And they don't realize like it's that serious. Like
Mhm.
everything that you're doing out there, they're looking at. They're not just looking at, oh, he can bring in 20, 25 a game. Well, you know what, freshman, when you're coming in as a freshman, I already got two or three guys that can do that. So how do you fit into my
Yeah,
scheme right now?
exactly. And a lot of it, I mean, I'll try to make everything like small stuff. Like if my team's out there and there's a free throw about to be shot and we don't get to a huddle beforehand,
Hmm.
everyone subbed out, timeout, something's happening. Pre-game, I don't do their warm-ups. I'm not up there cheering them up, hyping them up. They gonna look the part or they not. But I try to make it as detailed as possible. Like for me, I know in college you're supposed to talk to your teammates every dead ball. So if
Hmm.
I got a team out there that's getting to a huddle, it looks like, oh shoot, they point guard must know what she doing or he doing or whichever side I'm coach at the time. But
Right.
oh shoot, they really a college player. That's a leader right there. Let me look at him. Whether it's stats, whether whatever, or if I'm already brought someone to come recruit them, that's what they looking for.
Hmm.
That coach sitting in the stands watching. Okay, what type of person, what type of kid am I looking at? So in that 45-second stretch, I can see you talking. I can see you playing defense. I can see you moving. Like I can
Yeah.
see if you bringing your teammates up, putting people down. How do you sit on the bench? Where do you sit on the bench? Like
Right. Right.
all this stuff's what I'm looking at. I'm like, do you think these college coaches fly from across the country, spend money on a flight, spend money on a hotel, spend money on
They,
travel, spend money on food to see if you're good at basketball?
right.
They can do that on film. I mean, they're not doing that to watch you. They need to study you. They want to see
And
all
they
the details to see if you'll fit, to your point, if you'll fit in that system.
right.
But they don't, but they're out there like, oh, shoot, he hit a nice pull up three. I'm going to recruit him. That sounds stupid. I was like, it don't,
Right.
it sound, or he got a nice little fast break dunk. I was like, I didn't just spend all this money traveling to see if you could dunk or not. That
Yeah.
don't make no sense. The only reason they gotta be in person is to evaluate those types of things. So I mean, I
And
don't.
see, that's a
But
no, that's a whole nother conversation in itself, right there alone, man. The things that these people look at when they're trying to recruit. Guys don't understand like shot selections and
hmm
basketball IQ, when you should do this, what to look
yeah,
for. Like they don't get how detailed it gets when it comes to recruiting. And
nah,
all they see is, yeah, man, I knocked down 20 tonight, or I scored 25 tonight. How did you get that 20? How did you get that 25? How simple
bro.
was it?
I saw a kid. It's 2 weeks ago. I'm recruiting. I'm at a girls' game recruiting. The boys are playing afterwards. I'm watching the game in bits and pieces. I'm not like super locked into the boys' game. Be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I see the best player on one team. He had 40 something. But all I saw is like his body language was negative. He like get a travel call he thought was a foul. He throwing his hands up, talking to the ref. I was like, dang, I didn't know that about this kid. That's all I paid attention to
Mm-hmm.
is his body language, how he's moving. I logged into Instagram that night. It said so and so with like 42 points, 37 points, something like that. I was like, oh, I had no idea. I didn't even like genuine. I had no idea he had a good game. I left the gym. I was like, dang, I'm kind of disappointed. I heard all this stuff about this kid, and I didn't see anything I really liked. I saw he could score, but he was playing an okay team.
Right.
But like it never crossed my mind that he was having a good game. So on Instagram, I was like, okay, cool. He had 37, 42, whatever he had. I don't know. He
Right.
could have had 60 for all I care. I don't. But
But
genuinely, I was like,
everything
I
else,
left the gym disappointed. But on Instagram, yeah, he had all these points. He looked good, broke the school record. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, I know I have to look at the game differently than a teenager would, but still,
right.
the stuff that excites that type of coach is not the stuff that excites the kid.
Yeah.
But
And that could be their downfall.
oh yeah,
But
oh
again,
yeah,
they don't want to hear that. They don't understand that most of the time. And I could say that with you because you've been through it. I could say it back in my
hmm
time because I went through it. And when you talk to them in that level, they don't want to hear that because they looking at all as these kids say nowadays. Man, he just hated. He just hated. He don't.
hmm
You know, he never done this. I'm like, that's the purpose of me explaining to you why they
right,
don't mean anything to me because I've been there.
right.
So
You've
and
been
like you
there.
said, yeah,
You've been around the sport long enough to know what's actually good, what's bad, what's gonna work, what's not. It's
right,
just, like I said, you can see the writing on the wall every time, but a lot of times there's so much stuff that goes into it. They see a kid averaging 20 and get recruited. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm averaging 20. They just hating on me. That's why I'm not getting recruited.
yeah,
When there's so
exactly,
many factors that go into it, like there's so much stuff that goes into it.
right,
And then you can get into half the offers fake anyways, but that's a whole different problem.
right,
Half the offers don't even mean anything. So you just got kids upset about nothing. I know
yeah,
multiple kids who could have went one way, but went another way, got lied to, got an offer, try to commit. Coach is like, I ain't give you an offer, bro.
right,
That college
right,
coach like, yeah, you can't. That offer been off the table, bro.
yeah,
It was just good enough to post on Instagram. I'm like, trying to tell people, but it's all good. So Like I said, I
Yeah,
learn more and more dang near every day about this stuff too. I can't pretend like
good.
I'm an expert, but
Yeah,
it's crazy being on the other side of it and just trying to listen and learn as much as I can to do my
right.
best to help educate everybody.
That's because it's never ending. It's never ending,
Nah.
and you're always going to learn something. And if anyone tell you, "Man, I know it all," that nah, you don't know it all, dude. You're always going to learn something. You always see something different. So
Hmm.
it's never ending.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's it's a constant cycle. Like I said, I try to use many sources I can, learn as much I can, and keep it moving. That's all I can do.
yeah,
Try to always be a student though.
yes, indeed. Well,
Hmm.
man, I definitely appreciate you spending the
Of
time with me
course, coach.
today. Hopefully, we
Always,
can
always.
get back on at another time later and kind of go into details about some of the things we talked about. For
Of
people to
course.
get a better understanding. And keep me posted on how you got things going on your end with the program.
Oh yeah, I got you, coach. Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
All right, definitely appreciate it. We'll talk soon, man.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, man. Take care.